because they failed to pay rent. I have 6 children. These people make $350,000 a year is what they claimed on the rental application. I'm going to lose health insurance tomorrow, and my house is going into a foreclosure period as of tomorrow is 90 days late. They've just been sitting in my house, sir.
This is incorrect.
Are there people?
You can feel the tension in this case. The landlord is describing a financial nightmare, missed rent, possible foreclosure, and a family depending on that income. But remember, courtrooms run on evidence, not emotion. The big question now is simple. Who actually owes what, and can either side prove
Incorrect.
it?
Are there people still in the premises?
I don't know. I would have to text them. I don't know if they're on the premises presently.
So here's what I'm going to do.
I'm Jordan Lepick. I'm also on this case. Jared Lepick unfortunately was diagnosed with influenza A this morning. So he had his Zoom going and can mic in if need be, but he's got very little of a voice at this point.
Okay. All right. And yes, I do see him signed in. All right. Andrew Elliott or Traversia, is it Burrell?
Traversia Borelli.
Okay, sorry.
That's
all right. Okay, what are we doing on this case?
Last week, sir, you had asked that they be out of the house before the hearing today. And as of right now, they're still moving stuff out of the property. There are still people on property, including a couple of unauthorized additional roommates that weren't included in the lease. And we have yet to get in contact with Mr. Elliott. He is the named person on our lease. So we would just like to see what his status is. We haven't heard from him since the 7th. And the last thing we received from him in writing was an email admitting to the debt owed and the wrongdoing on his part, stating that he can provide the court of a copy with this email. In his own words, he states, "We will obviously not refute what you are owed. We have no intention to. We would honor the court decision of the debt, which would additionally include legal fees. Given our contract is under the laws of Michigan, there is very little that can be garnished as the bulk of my earnings are earned as independent contractor." In this email, he proposed a payment plan that we were uncomfortable with.
Notice how quickly the judge cuts off the backstory. That might seem harsh, but judges often do this to get straight to the legal issues. Long explanations can be interesting, but they don't always answer the court's most important question. What's the actual amount in dispute?
Payment plan that we were uncomfortable with agreeing to because he's offered us specific payment arrangements over the last.
Can I stop you, please?
Absolutely.
All right. How much are you claiming is owed?
So as of right now, he owes $15,000 plus court costs of $234.43. If I may, could I give you like 90 seconds of backstory, sir?
Not really.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I don't know that I'm necessarily going to need it.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you moving out?
Yes, we've returned the key. I have a couple of friends currently helping me move out the remaining things. I'm actually at the U-Haul Center right now, and they are getting the rest of the items out presently under the supervision of the land manager.
Okay. So, and ma'am, are you disputing the amount they're claiming is owed?
I am.
You are?
Yes, I am. We owe.
How much do you think you owe?
So we owe December and January. That's $10,000. We paid a $1,000 late fee in November and a $2,000 late fee in September and October. We believe that these should be subtracted from the total owed due to illegality of those fees. Also, we were subjected.
How much is monthly rent?
Your Honor, monthly rent is $5,000 a month. This is a 4,000 square foot house that we were under contract for them to purchase, and we have done a series of.
Things get interesting. The tenant isn't denying that money is owed. She's challenging how the total was calculated. In landlord-tenant disputes, that's a huge distinction. It's the difference between saying I owe nothing and saying I owe less than you're claiming. Which side do you think has the stronger argument so far?
And we have done a series of short-term leases as they were waiting on the city.
Okay, so here's the thing. Is she right about, she just listed off, I think, $4,000 of late fees that they paid.
No, sir, that is incorrect. Those were from the previous lease. See, at first we did a 60-day lease, and then we extended that once their house was not sold. So we have 2 prior leases to this short-term lease, and we only enforce late fees on one of the months under those leases. And I can submit documentation of all this, sir.
So can I.
All right.
I do have claims that ACHs were sent that were never received to my account, sir, as well as proof of funds that I received in December and no payment was made out of that. The last communication I had about a payment arrangement was on December 13th, and I was informed by Mr. Elliott that day that his wife had sent an ACH. However,
Okay, look, folks. Oh, ma'am, here's what's going to happen. What date are you going to be out of the premises?
We're already out.
Your stuff
You're
is still
already out.
Right.
Your stuff
And they have surrendered the keys.
Yes, and it's in the process of being removed as we speak. So we are out. It'll be another hour or 2, I think, before it's all of our stuff is gone.
Then the only issue is what's owed.
Right. I also want to bring up, if I may, Your Honor, we were subjected to a wrongful lockout, so we are due 3 times damages of the $150 for a locksmith as outlined in
Plot
Michigan's.
twist. Just when everyone is focused on unpaid rent, the tenant introduces a wrongful lockout claim. If proven, that could potentially offset part of the landlord's damages. This is exactly why eviction cases can get messy. Sometimes both sides walk into court claiming they're the real
Smith
victim.
as outlined in Michigan's anti-lockout statute, totaling $450, which I also have evidence of.
Okay. All right,
Your
look,
Honor.
folks.
Your Honor, I'm house because they failed to pay rent. I have 6 children. These people make $350,000 a year is what they claimed on the rental application. I'm going to lose health insurance tomorrow, and my house is going into a foreclosure period as of tomorrow is 90 days late. They have money. They had subletters or whoever living with them, and I don't know if they were running a homeless shelter, if they were pocketing the rent that their roommates paid. They've
No.
just been
And
sitting in my
here
house.
comes the emotional centerpiece of the hearing. The landlord painted a picture of mounting financial pressure, while the tenant immediately pushes back on those allegations. At this point, both sides are telling very different stories, and the judge's job is to separate frustration from facts.
They've
No.
just been sitting in my house, sir.
This is incorrect.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Possession has been granted. There are 2 parts to the case. Possession's been granted or surrendered to the plaintiff. So possession is not,
Sorry.
pardon?
There are still people at the house. One of them had a residence established there, apparently. They're still at the house, and unfortunately,
This final detail could be a game changer. Even though the keys have reportedly been surrendered, there may still be people living at the property. Legally, possession isn't always as simple as handing over a key. If occupants remain, the dispute may not be over quite yet. What would you do if you were the judge hearing this case?